Did I call it or did I call it? Well, let's talk about Acropolis Rally for 2025, the 69th edition of Acropolis Rally of Gods, and the different stories that emerged from it. Firstly, let's talk about the winners. I have said for probably about 2 months now that Oid Tanak's bad luck needs to end. And it very nearly didn't with the Acropolis Rally. He finished the rally with a broken gearbox, nursed the car to the podium ceremony, and then just got it back to service. It cost him a couple of points over the power stage and the win on the Super Sunday. But, quite importantly here, it meant that he kept the win. He kept the win by 32.8 seconds over Seb Ogier, and it wasn't even close for most of the rally. On Saturday, he had the optimal time and was only, a tenth of a second away from having had the perfect times for Saturday. It is incredibly impressive. It was a wonderful run, and it shows how much he had to do to be able to win. He's a deserving rally winner. I mean, I've been saying this the last couple of events where he just had rotten luck with the power steering in Portugal, the puncher in Sardinia. But here, even a gearbox failure didn't stop him. Behind them was a bit of a battle for third. They were 3 minutes off the pace because, well, it's the Acropolis Rally. It's a 4-hour event. In terms of the average speed, third place's Adrian Formeau was, a kilometre per hour slower? But, yeah, another podium. He similarly had a close gap at the end of the rally from championship leader Elfyn Evans, who's in 4th place. Evans is just continually putting in points. And as we hit the halfway point of the season, that is actually quite good. We'll talk about the point standings later on, but both of them were comfortably clear of Thierry Neuville, who had various different issues, namely punctures. He was the only other Rally 1 car to finish without any massive issues, in the way of, say, Martin Sesks having the fuel issue, the amount of different punctures and the damaged suspension, and the loss of the handbrake that affected Josh McAlean, who did complete all the stages, but just had issue after issue after issue. At one point he was, down in 40th place. 12th place is quite a good finish for his first Rally 1 experience in the Acropolis. And we know that it's not his true pace, because he was quite competitive last year. He's been competitive in previous editions in the Rally 2 car. So we know it's not his true pace. We know it was issues with other bits and pieces. We'll talk about WRC2 in a moment, because the second half of the top 10 is all WRC2. But, yeah, it was a rally where Carlo Rompera ended up being beached. Takakatsuta went off the road. All of the Rally 1s had various different issues. I mean, Serdaridis had to retire on medical grounds. But yes, let's talk about WRC2, and perhaps the top 2 are unsurprising. Oliver Solberg, he's just getting that Principal Toyota to work magic for him. I mean, the Principal Toyota was the car that won the championship last year with Sami Pyre behind the wheel. Oliver Solberg, arguably the fastest guy last year in the WRC2. Put them both together, and as long as you've got reliability on your side and you don't have the fesh in the Safari, you're home safe. Second place was Gus Greensmith, the recently married Gus Greensmith, 54 seconds off the pace. And again, that's pretty close for the Acropolis Rally. It is 0.3 of a kilometre per hour. And that Fabia seems to no longer be the leader of the pack. The Toyota has more or less usurped it. So it's a commendable and reliable finish by Gus Greensmith. Third place was Johan Roussel. And Roussel is good. He is a worthy champion in WRC2 should he pick up the championship this season. But the Citroen has not had the reputation on rough gravel rallies. Heck, that was never Citroen's reputation, even back in the glory days of Seb Loeb. I mean, the biggest offs that Loeb had were on the rougher gravel rallies. I think it was Sardinia, where he had the massive shunt in the C4. I mean, I guess with the C3, Chris Meek's first win for the C3 came with Mexico. Granted, it was after the Jesus Christ Chris and him driving through a car park, but it was seemingly antithetical. Citroen are seen as the tarmac guys, and they always have been. And when it's gravel, it's usually the fast gravel, because you can drive it smoothly. So to see third place on rough gravel is really good. The top 5 was rounded out by 2 other Toyotas. Unsurprisingly, 4th place was Kaito Katanovic. And Kaito is one of the most reliable drivers when it comes to rough gravel rallies. Another one who is very reliable as well is Martin Prokop, who was just outside of the top 5. He was in 6th place. And between them is Alejandro Cachon. Cachon has been quite impressive this season with the step up. I think it is a step up to full-time in WRC2. But I'm not surprised that Katanovic was 4th place. I'm not surprised it was 2 minutes off of Solberg either, because whilst Kaito is, a 3-time European champion, those 3 European championships happened early in the R5 era. Solberg is much younger. He has a much more regimented program. He shows up basically every event, even if he's not entered for championship points, just to have more seat time. There is a massive difference between what both drivers are bringing to the table. WRC3, and by that as well, JWRC, was actually quite intense. Stage wins will probably play a massive role in deciding the championship, because each stage win is a point in WRC3. Well, JWRC. WRC3 is the same scoring system as WRC2, which is WRC without the bonuses for Super Sunday or Power Stage. But Ali Turkan picked up the win. It was nearly 6 minutes from Taylor Gill, with Dominguez in 3rd, and Kerem Kazaz was in 4th place. In 5th place in the JWRC was Eamon Kelly, who had to Super Rally. In 5th place in WRC3 was Ethimos Halkias, one of the local drivers, behind the wheel of a Clio. But it was a vicious event again. Thomas Martans, I think, was one of the more competitive junior WRC competitors. The prop shaft went on Sunday, and that was him out. And I think he was still a little bit off the back of Turkan. I think 2nd place moves Gill into the JWRC lead, which is very impressive. But it is also impressive for the Castrol Ford Team Turquia star, who, I don't know. I know rumour was that he was going to try and line himself up with a Rally 1 drive for sometime in 2025 behind the wheel of a Puma. I would like to see him give it a go. Anyways, let's wrap this up with chatter about the championship standings. Elfyn Evans still leads. Seb Ogier has closed the gap in the championship down to 9 points. Now, we're not expected to see Seb Ogier for the next couple of rallies. I reckon probably the next 2. I think he said that he's not going to do much more than what he was contractually going to do, which is a part-time season, a half season. He's already done 5, which means he probably has 2 rallies left, which you could probably assume would be the CER and Toyota's home rally in Japan. I would be surprised if he did do Paraguay or Chile. Those are rallies he's been good at in the past. They're smoother gravel rallies, and he likes competing in the new rallies as well. But we won't see him for the next 2. Elfyn Evans is good on the fast gravel. Estonia is not the most dominant for him, but he is a Finland winner. So, yeah, Elfyn Evans, he's in a good place. He's 12 points clear of Oyt Tanak in the end as well. which is exactly where you will want to be. Tanak has slowly been building up that points all over the last couple of events, though. So, for example, after Portugal was, an 18-point swing in favour of Tanak. Sardinia was a 9-point swing in favour of Tanak. And here, the Acropolis was, it was, a 13-point swing? What we could genuinely see is something akin to 01. In 2001, Richard Burns became world champion, only having won one event from, was it a 14 or a 16 round calendar then? I think it was 14 as well. Tanak has just been consistent. He's got 3 second places on the year. He's scored points in every event. Evans has as well. But whilst Evans has 2 wins and a further 2 podiums, Oid has 1 win and a further 3 second places. It full well could come down to who gets the best in the bonus points. Because if you took out the bonus points, there's an 8-point difference. In fact, if you took out the bonus points, there's a 1-point difference between Tanak and Ogier as well. But what it has done is it has probably, this event, thwarted Thierry Neuville's title defence. He's on 96 points. Now, 55 points at the WRC over 7 rallies is quite easy to make up, compared to, say, Formula 1. There are more points at the table. You've got your Super Sunday, you've got your Power Stage. A complete win is, 35 points. So a complete win, with your rival second place and everything, is 8 points for the win, because they do 17 for second place in WRC now. It's a 10-point swing. Which means that if you won everything, and you're Thierry Neuville, and Elfyn Evans is in second place, you've caught Evans by CER. Now, it is a tall order, but Oid Tanak will sneak in there. Carlo Rovanperä, who is 33 points off the championship lead, will sneak in there at some point as well. I mean, Estonia was the scene of his first win. Same Rally Finland, yes, there is almost an Andretti curse level Rovanperä curse now in Rally Finland. But he could win. Paraguay, Rovanperä has been the best at picking up new rallies in the Rally 1 era. We have to look forward to seeing if that will be the same when it comes to after the sabbatical, or whether it was something that was reserved for hybrid era with Pirelli tyres, Carlo Rovanperä, and the Hancooks just aren't working for him. But it does look like we could get a good title battle, and it could be between 2019 World Champion Oid Tanak and the 2020-21 Vice Champion of Elfyn Evans. In the WRC 2 for the championship, Oliver Solberg is now 3 points ahead of Johan Rosell, and that's including the fact that Rosell used his drop round for Sardinia, actually. So they're both carrying 4 scores. But Solberg could drop his worst score of 10 points if he wins in any of his other 3 appearances. And you can bet that one of them is going to be something like Paraguay or Saudi or Chile, one of the flyaway ones. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if out of his point scoring ones, at least 2 of his last 3 events would be flyaway ones, non-European events. Don't know if he's entering it for Estonia. He's had good form there in the past, but he could full well do that. Gus Greensmith has only had 3 point scores this season, but is on 57 points. So if he trended that way, the 4th point score would put him, just shy of Rosell. Elsewhere, Dapra has done 5 events. Got 4 scores on that, 4th place. And Solans is in 5th with 4 events and 3-point scores. Katanovic is 6th, having done 4 events himself. Perhaps the person who could be the biggest curveball is Nikolai Grajin. He's only done 1 WRC 2-point scoring event so far this season in the first half. So 6 of the next 7 rallies he's going to be doing WRC 2. In WRC 3, what's it looking like actually? Well, Taylor Gill is actually up at the front of that one, as he is in JWRC. Ahead of Matteo Fontana. Reigning champion Diego Dominguez Jr. has just had rotten luck. He's down in 9th with 4 scores to his name. Got under half the points of Gill. And then in the JWRC, it's, yeah, a lot more convincing to Gill compared to Dominguez. Dominguez is on 22 points. Taylor Gill, because of the stage win bonus, is on 78 points. Mille Johansson, who has had issues here, there, and everywhere, because of the amount of stage wins, is on 71 points. For a sense of this, EWRC Results does a really great breakdown. You can get a similar breakdown on the WRC website as well. Mille Johansson has got 29 points from stage wins. Taylor Gill has 11. Anyways, folks, those are my thoughts, those are my feelings, those are my observations. Thank you so much for watching and joining us always, and I hope to see you again soon for more. Until next time, it's bye-bye for now.